World-famous author and historian Christopher Lloyd has collaborated with 33 illustrators from around the globe for his latest children's book that aims to combat climate change. It's titled, It's Up to Us, a children's Terra Carta for nature, for people and planet. Well, the book is Christopher's effort to try and engage young people on current issues relating to creating a sustainable future. The UK-based author is currently in the country attending a couple of book fairs, and he joins us now in studio to chat more about the book. Christopher, a very good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, lady.
I mean, let's start with the inspiration behind this book.
Yes.
It's Up to Us, a children's Terra Carta for nature, for people and planet. Talk to us about the inspiration.
Well, the original idea actually came from His Royal Highness Prince Charles, who's the heir to the British throne, who has been passionate about putting nature first for about all his life, really. And now, of course, we realise that climate change is such a big issue for everybody around the world. His ideas about putting nature first, I wanted to turn it into a children's book so that we could activate young people to help them become the storytellers, to make adults take notice in a way that sometimes they put it to one side, or they think that's not my problem, somebody else can sort it out. We all need to be the change. And children, perhaps, are the most exciting way of trying to persuade adults to think differently.
Now, you divided the book into four, nature, people, planet, and Terra Carta.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the idea is to give children a sort of overview of how nature works before people were on the planet, and how it is balanced and in harmony. And then in the second chapter to tell them what people have done in the last 200 years, particularly to upset that balance by increasing the amount of carbon dioxide, making the world hotter, and then looking in chapter 3 at what the consequences are for the planet as we get more floods and rising sea levels and we get desertification. And then finally, what can we do about it? Terra Carta is an idea, a set of rules, a set of ideas for children and their parents to talk about, and teachers too, as to how we can make a difference to try and make the planet safe for the future.
Let's talk about the illustrators, 33 of them. How did you source them? How did it end up becoming such a beautiful piece of literature?
Yes, well, it was. We tried to do this book quite quickly last year in time for COP26, if you remember, the big conference, so that we have something available for world leaders to take notice of too. And we had not very much time to do the book, so we started off trying to find an illustrator to do 33 beautiful paintings in about 1 month. And, of course, nobody had the time to do this. That wasn't long enough. So we applied the principles of Terra Carta to work as a team. And we thought, we'll get 33 illustrators to do one painting each, and we'll get them from as many different countries around the world. And even though it wasn't our original intention, the result has been something really fulfilling and rewarding. And I've learned myself that actually making the artistic work inclusive and diverse and telling the story through the lens of so many different cultures creates a whole new dimension to the storytelling, which is so exciting to see in this book.
Now, you mentioned that it's time for a Terra Carta, a plan of action for the Earth. Unpack this for us.
Well, Terra Carta is really in the tradition of great big treaties. There was one called Magna Carta 800 years ago in Britain, where our king, King John, was a tyrant, and people stood up for themselves and said, no, the king must obey the law. Of course, still today we have tyrants, and the struggle still continues to make sure that people on authority obey the law. This is the idea of saying, well, rather than having a set of rules for kings, let's have a set of rules for all of us with the planet, with nature. And we can get business leaders, we can get governments, we can get parents, we can get teachers, all of them to think about putting the planet first, nature before profit. And if we can get children to ask the questions as to what their adults in their lives are doing through this book, then hopefully we can have a big impact.
I heard you're going to Franschhoek. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I was there last week.
You were there last week.
It's very beautiful. I hadn't been before. I was in the mountains. There's a very special literary festival there. It was wonderful to get back in front of people in the sort of aftermath of COVID, to be able to see them face to face, to be able to give talks in schools, to be able to engage with the children in their classrooms as well. I've had a wonderful time there and in Johannesburg all this week.
And what's been the reaction from children, the people that this book is aimed at, you know, and their contribution?
Yes, they are very passionate about this issue. You know, I asked them, do their schools have solar panels? And they say, No, but why not? We need to have this conversation. Maybe we should make a priority about this. We should set an example. And they can then include how much energy we've taken from the sun, so that if we have load shedding, we still have our electricity, and we can calculate that we haven't put fossil fuels and carbon dioxide in the air. We can put that in our maths lessons. There's a way of growing food. I went to a school in Frankfurt called Green School, which was a real inspiration, where everything is based around sustainability. So I think there are examples that children can offer through their curiosity, through their passion for living and life, which can influence adults and make a big difference in the world.
And today you'll be at the Kingsmead Book Fair. Speak to us about that.
Yes, today at the Kingsmead Book Fair, we're going to look at all kinds of amazing stories to do with our planet Earth through an encyclopedia called the Britannica Children's Encyclopedia, which I've edited. And so it's a wonderful celebration of general knowledge and of curiosity and non-fiction, and how the real world is more amazing than anything we can make up.
What for you was the highlight of being part of this project and seeing this project coming to life?
Well, really, I suppose as part of writing the book as an author, to be able to work with so many different illustrators and to see the ideas that they put themselves into the artwork. There's an Australian, Aboriginal artist who painted the scene of his ancestors, which is now turned to a desert, and the trees are all dead, but he's painted them in the shape of a letter of the alphabet, the shape Y.
Yeah.
And the trees are asking the question, why are we doing this to nature? There's a Chinese artist who is painting about rising sea levels, and she's painted the glacier that split off into an iceberg in the shape of a mother polar bear who can no longer reach her baby because literally their world is melting beneath their feet. These things are actually happening today, and to allow the artists to tell the stories in ways that really bring it to life, I think, has been tremendously fascinating and exciting for me as an author.
And do you think you did what you could, given the fact that you had to write the book before, what was it, COP17?
COP26.
COP26,
yes.
Yeah. When you got there and this was the book that, you had to present there, do you think you did what you can to, combat climate change and make us aware of what we need to be doing?
This is going to carry on. We need to keep the campaign going, Lebo, for months and years, and I see this as just the beginning of the journey, really. Having the book gives an opportunity to tell a story, but then we need to visit schools. We need to inspire children to write their own books, and in fact, there's a challenge that Prince Charles has issued, which is available online for children to write, paint or draw their vision of the future that they would like to see, but one that puts nature first.
Yeah.
And they can upload their pictures and he will share them on his social media, and that way their ideas can be presented to millions of people around the world.
Yeah.
And it's using social media, it's using storytelling and activating young people to say this is the sort of future we want to see. That can make the difference to the adults. So I'm hoping very much it's just the beginning of our campaign to try and make climate change something children can talk about to the adults in their lives.
All right, Christopher, thank you so much for talking to us. Good luck with the book fair today. Enjoy South Africa. Christopher Lloyd talking to us about It's Up to Us. He joined us this morning for a conversation about his latest children's book that aims to combat climate change.